Our guest in the studio today is Javier Olvera. Javier is the president and owner of Supermercado Mexico in Grand Rapids. He joins us today to tell his own immigrant story, to talk about the joys and challenge of business ownership, and his vision for Hispanic entrepreneurship in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Javier, it's a real pleasure to welcome you to Feel Like You Belong.
Thank you, Alan. It is my pleasure.
Awesome. So you were telling me when we were talking earlier about your own transition to the United States. What age did you come here?
I came here when I was 16 years old.
16, okay. Which is probably one of the more awkward times in a human's life, right? I mean, because we're not sure who we are, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, you know, transplant.
Right,
Yeah.
that's right. But the good thing at that time, I was ready to come here. I was living in Guadalajara in a beautiful place, but I was ready to do something different. So when I came here, I feel like I belong. I feel good about being here.
Okay, okay. Tell me about the early years, because you had to go to high school, right? How much English had you studied before?
I didn't know much. I learned English in Mexico, but I couldn't speak that well. So when I came to the United States, it was hard for me. I went to high school for 3 years.
Okay.
And I was struggling, yes. It was hard.
Did you play basketball in high school?
I did, yes.
So that, I mean, sometimes when you feel like the odd kid out, but you've got an in, like you've got a skill or, you know, some
Right.
size, that sort of gives you an acceptability. Did that work that way for you?
Yes, exactly. That happened to me. And when I was in Mexico too, my height, it was like, I was like, you are really tall. So when I came here to the United States, I feel like I belong. A lot of my friends were tall, and I was feeling like, yeah, I fit in here. So yes, I played basketball all my life. I played in Mexico in the Nationals as well. And when I came here to the United States, I was like, fit in, I guess.
Yeah.
Feel really good.
So now, did you play in college?
No, I did not play in college. I focused more on my studies and just going for my engineering degree.
Sure, sure. Now talk about your background, because you studied at community college for a while and then transferred.
Yes, from high school to my bachelor's degree took me 10 years. So I went to GRCC first, and then I went to Ferris State University. I was working full-time and going to school part-time, so it took me
The
some
extended
time.
plan.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But at the end of the time, I didn't have any debt.
Which is no small thing.
Which was really good for me.
Fantastic. So you studied engineering, though, right?
Yes.
And you actually got a job out of college in engineering.
Yes, yes. One of the prestige companies like Steelcase. I went there. I had so much fun. I really enjoy working for Steelcase. They do have that when you connect with people. I really love that. They have that. The culture, you know, the connection. I really like that. So I did that for 10
They have a good
years.
reputation in the community
yes,
for being that kind of a workplace.
Big company, yes.
Yeah. So what were you doing specifically? What kinds of jobs?
Product design engineering. So I design parts for chairs, desk. So yeah, I did a lot of fun things in there.
So what made you change your mind and think, I'd like to be a business person? Because, you know, working for a large company and doing design work, you know, shifting, that's a bit of a change.
Yes. In 2006, when I saw the economy just changing, it was going down, I was thinking, you know, I should do something different. I had the entrepreneur life when I was young as well. And so I thought that, I know that we will have to eat 3 times a day. And I knew the culture, I knew the food, the culture, and I was thinking, you know what, this will be a good thing to do. So
now, were there any Latino grocery stores in Grand Rapids at that time?
Yes, there were many. And the first one was, the first Hispanic grocery store was Supermercado Mexico. So, yeah, my sister-in-law Maricela Olvera told me about it, and they say, you know what, the seller is trying to sell, wants to sell the business, so like,
Okay.
yeah, let's go. And so I looked at the numbers, yeah, they look good, like, let's go. And then after that, we purchased our competitor, Supermercado Mexico, and now we are Supermercado Mexico.
Okay. So now how many locations do you have?
Right now we have 3.
3 locations. Okay. Okay. What's the biggest challenge of running 3 locations?
I think the process and procedures, that's the biggest thing right now. How to make it work efficient and not knowing the way it should be done. As an engineer, I try to do my best. I didn't have my business degree, but I'm learning as much as I can. So managing people and just doing it the way it should be, that's what I'm concentrated. So that's the hardest part, I would say.
Sure. And you had no training in terms of retail or that
Right.
before.
Right. When I was in Mexico, my dad helped us to have our own business. It was a tire shop, so
Okay.
I was doing it on my own. I was 12 years old, and I was doing that.
Okay. So you had the seeds of entrepreneurship
Yes.
even at a much younger age.
Yes, and my dad has his own business, so I learned from him as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a moving company, kind of like two men in a truck.
Okay. Okay. So really, business and entrepreneurship really runs in the family.
Yes, it does. Yes.
So how many family members are helping with the Supermercado?
Right, we have 2. So it's me and my brother Pablo Olvera.
Okay.
And of course, my sister-in-law and my wife, Carrie.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So when we were talking last, you were talking about your vision for Grand Rapids and the fact that we've got this lovely downtown market now. It's been open several years in Grand Rapids, but you have another vision. Tell us about that.
Yes, we're going to expand Supermercados. We're going to expand, but we're also looking into a plaza, greater plaza, Hispanic plaza. And it's going to be similar to downtown market, but it's going to be Hispanic style. So what we're looking is having Hispanic restaurants on the first floor, and then a brewing company in the middle, and office space on the second floor, and in the parking during the week or in the weekend as well, have a farmer's market, which we're going to start 2018, May 5th.
Okay, so now a real plaza is actually an open space surrounded by buildings. Is that kind of the structure or design that you're looking at?
Yeah, so what we're having for the farmers market, we're going to start on Saturdays, and it's going to be really early, and it's going to be in the parking lot. So we're just going to have a test, and then next year we're going to rebuild the building. I mean that area, and then in 2 years we're going to rebuild the building that we have there.
Okay, so the drawings are in place?
The drawings are in place, yes. This is going to be on Granville, 900 Granville between Franklin and Hall.
Okay, so if people are interested in joining in this venture, how should they contact you?
There's a different way they can contact me. So.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll maybe put that information on the screen for people so they can check that out. Yeah. Talk about what is your greatest joy in terms of being a business owner in this community?
I think the biggest joy for me is just have no limits. That's the way I see it. As an entrepreneur, you have no limits. You can grow as much as you can, as much as you want. You put the effort into it. And what I tell many of my friends is that they should find the reason why they're doing it, and shoot for something they want. So your why will help you get out of the bed, do whatever whatever it takes to do what you want. So, and then you just shoot for something. What do you want in life? Where are you wanna end up? So.
Do you have a chance to talk with young people, so teenagers, college students about this?
Yes, I do. I've talked from Ferris State University students, Grand Valley students, high school students. We invite them to our grocery stores, give them the tour and see what it is, how could they become an entrepreneur as well, so that they don't have just the mentality that they have to just work for somebody else. So there's other plans, other ideas they can follow. And when I was in high school, someone stopped by and just changed my mind of, instead of just working you know, you can do something else. You can go for whatever you want, your engineering degree, you'll be an entrepreneur. So that's the reason why I keep going with students, so that they have a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I think sometimes kids who come as immigrants, sometimes they feel already like, oh, you know, do I belong here as a second language, second culture, and always feeling maybe a little hesitant to jump in. So anytime you can get somebody who encourages you and said, yeah, go for it, mm-hmm. that would seem really important.
Yeah, that is right. That is needed. Someone who can tell you a new idea, that is huge. You know.
Yeah, super. So we're going to wrap up in just a minute, but talk about your notion of belonging, because we were talking earlier, and you said that there are certain people that help that work for you.
Yeah, when I came here to the United States, I feel like I belong when people help us. You know, specifically Father Steve Crone helped us. We didn't have much. He helped us with clothing, with food, just introducing to people, and I just feel like really blessed, and I appreciate that. That was like when I feel like I belong mm-hmm. in the community. Mm-hmm. And now through the chambers, Hispanic Chamber, Grand Rapids Chamber, you know, just feel more comfortable being, you know, who I am.
Mm-hmm. And once people get to know you, trust you both as a community member and as a business person, you know, that can make all the difference.
Yes, that is right.
Awesome,
mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming by and joining us today in the studio. It's been a real pleasure having you.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching on TV, stay with us for some tips on American English, culture, and humor. For our friends on the internet, we hope you'll join our ongoing conversation with the impressive immigrants who contribute their vast skills to making the United States a better place.